Greetings and welcome to AlonzoBash Podcast. Real people, real conversations. On this exciting episode, Alonzo sits down with international soca sensation Kevin Lyttle. In this in-depth conversation, Kevin Lyttle talks about his remarkable journey from the beautiful Caribbean island of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines to becoming a global music icon. Kevin reflects on his childhood in Saint Vincent, sharing stories about the island's rich culture, delicious cuisine, and fascinating history that many people around the world may not know. He discusses how early exposure to music helped shape his passion and how his love for R&B, soca, and dancehall blended together to create one of the biggest crossover hits in music history, the worldwide smash hit Turn Me On. Kevin also speaks on the importance of Caribbean artists supporting one another, the evolution of Caribbean music on the global stage, and the responsibility that comes with representing the region internationally. Plus, he reveals his personal top 5 artists of all time and shares valuable insights from his decades-long career in the music industry. From untold stories and cultural pride to music, legacy, real people, real conversations, the AlonzoBash Podcast starts now.
Greetings and welcome to AlonzoBash Podcast. I'm your host, AlonzoBash. And I've always meant today's special guest, man. This guy's a superstar among superstars. International recording artist. Without further ado, Mr. Kevin Lyttle. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man. Of course, it's you. It's all right. So let's get into your story, if I may. So your official name is Lescott Kevin Lyttle?
Yeah, Coombs. Lescott Kevin Lyttle Coombs.
Coombs. Okay. That's a long name, man.
Coombs like coffee, but spelled with 2 O's instead of 1.
Okay. So you have. It seems like you have 2 names in one, then.
Yeah. I have, Lescott is my first name. I used to get a lot of fun made about my name in school.
Okay.
Kevin is the artist name. It's my middle name. That's what my mom called me and everybody who really knew me closely. But in school, I would write Lescott. And that is my mother's maiden name. So I took that. And Coombs is my father's last name.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So tell me about your parents. So you're born and raised, first of all, in Saint Vincent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the community in Saint Vincent that you grew up in?
It was, one of the cool communities, I would say, really nice. I grew up in Kingston, St. Vincent, in an area called Lodge Village. Somewhat Old Montrose as well. It was called both because I was kind of in the border of both places.
Okay.
I went to the Lodge Village Government School, which was like a walk from a small 5-minute walk from my house.
Yes.
I remember the days of watching every other child walking, going up the road and asking my mother when I could start walking on my own and go. Yeah, because in the Caribbean, from the time you're like 5 or 6 years old, you're tall enough, they let you walk on your own on the side of the road and go to school, right? So I was walking to school at a very early age. And, I had a lot of friends, my cousins, in most of my younger life that we hang out, played, a lot of neighbors, kids I grew up with. I got involved in entertainment because of my uncles and stuff like that too, because I really wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
I kind of ended up in the same entertainment group with them and stuff like that, So my childhood was very, how should I say, very flowing. Like it flowed from one thing to the other very interestingly, because I not only hanged out with younger kids, I hanged out with adults in groups and different types of community activities as well growing up.
Yes. For someone who has never been to St. Vincent, and I always feel bad when I say these things because our goal is to travel to every Caribbean island. So St. Vincent, I haven't yet been there.
Yeah.
For someone who have never been to St. Vincent like myself, tell me about St. Vincent. What's the first thing I should do when I reach St. Vincent? Some of the things about that goes on in St. Vincent.
Well, St. Vincent is full of a lot of nature.
Yeah.
The country is very mountainous, and there's a lot of history as well because St. Vincent was one of the first islands landed on by Christopher Columbus. I think the first, actually.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
First place he landed. But, between the history and the naturesque appeal of the island, I would say probably, go and see the oldest Catholic church in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, and then the oldest botanical garden in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow.
Yeah, all that is in Saint Vincent. There's nature trails, there's rivers, there's the Grenadine Islands. There's a lot of beaches on the Grenadine Islands, white sand beach, black sand beach, volcanic soil. Like we have everything. Waterfalls. We have the Trinity Falls, which is actually a spectacle because those falls are so tall. And 3 of them, you start at one and you look up and you're like, oh my God, it's a skyscraper. But then you could walk around it and go up to the top of it. And then there's another one the same height. Up to that. I think there's another one after that. Yeah, so there's like 3 falls that are really beautiful.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds lovely. All right. Understand you're the only kid? The only
child?
I'm
the only child.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
As much as I know, I don't know. My father had said that he thought he had a son somewhere else, but I haven't really gotten any concrete information on that. So I'm still the only one for both him and my mom.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So you mentioned your uncle. You mentioned being introduced to music at a young age to your uncles and so forth.
Yeah.
So what was the initial introduction like for you? Like, what can I take me through that whole process?
Well, I would say that I was introduced to dancing through them, not just music. I always loved music. I was really into singing, and I met a girl one time in school that I really liked. She's a really beautiful woman, still very beautiful today. And she was older than me, of course. The younger kid attracted to older attractive woman. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, she was like 17 or 18, and I was like 14 or something like that, or 13.
Okay.
And she was like, you dance and sing and all of that? I go to this dance group at the school in Large Village. And I was like, yeah, in my that's my village.
Okay.
You should come and check it out, and ended up going, and it was my uncles that was running the group. It was a very popular group on the island because they were doing all the choreography and scripting for music videos for all the calypsonians and bands that put out music for the carnival. So they were seen all over the place in cultural wakes and cultural events, and when there were local events, the members of the group got the opportunity to showcase their talent, because what the group did was they gave you an opportunity to sing as a part of a program that they would have put together for something that we were hired for. So I would sing and dance, and then they would put together a skit. And then I would be an actor as well.
Wow.
So, I did all these different things inside of that group.
Yeah. So you pretty much got exposed to the arts early.
Yeah, very early. And then in school as well, at the time, I started, banging on desk and singing with my friends. And, I got involved with the drama club in school with Miss Keene and my friend Ronnie Marks, who is now a lawyer in Saint Vincent, a very well-known lawyer. Quite a few people had a lot of influence on me coming up in those days.
Yeah. Nice. I read that you was a customs officer and a DJ as well.
Well, not really a DJ. I would say I was a radio announcer.
Okay.
I wasn't a DJ. I never really got into DJing.
Okay.
I worked at the customs after I came out of college. I studied electronic engineering. I had an associate's degree in the field.
Yes.
And but it never worked out for me that way. I got a job at the Customs and Excise Department.
Okay.
And that job basically gave me the opportunity to have money to invest in my music. But during that period between when I got out of college and was looking a job, I actually got involved with the radio with a close friend of mine, Miss Nicole Hathaway. She actually gave me the opportunity because she was working at this station in Saint Vincent called WeFM.
Okay.
I got the opportunity to be a disc jockey on a Sunday. But there was no formal training, so I made a lot of mistakes. I never had any training in it. They would just throw you in and see what you do. So I did it for every Sunday for a while. Until I got out of things, but it was not the most exciting thing for me.
Yeah. So the vibes is a kind of a slow, lovers rock type of, slows on a Sunday. That was your vibe, or was it more like a
Yeah, playing all the Boys to Men, the Joe,
okay.
the R&B, the soul. Like I
Right.
was all on all of that.
Nice.
Jam at night, everybody. That was my jam on a Sunday.
All right, nice. So, at what point did you decided to take music serious and really like work on your production and songwriting skills and things like that?
I actually took music very serious from the get-go. As I would not have gotten on stage at such a young age. I had the opportunity with the group, with my uncles. The group was called Young Turks.
Yeah.
And I was singing this song, Shower Me With Your Love, by Atlantic Star.
Yeah, big tune.
That song was my breakout on stage because I had a voice similar to him at the time. And I was able to really mimic that artist.
Yeah.
Man, the girls went crazy and they were all screaming and I'm there singing with a mic that has a very short cord.
Yeah.
So I couldn't move around. So I'm singing hanging off the side of the stage at a tea party. Actually, it was a tea party, to raise funds and stuff like that. And it really motivated me because everybody was screaming, yo, he's so good. All the girls got up from their table, surrounded the stage. So, it was a real breakout moment for me. And after that, it was like that moment that made me believe in myself in a different way as a singer.
Yeah.
So after a while, my name started being called by the top radio announcer at the time was Glenn Jackson in Saint Vincent. And he would call me King Kevin. He would say, King Kevin, performing alongside with Young Turks and and my uncle nicknamed Snuffy used to be a singer as well. So me and him, I got a lot of opportunity on stage because of him. He was a comedian and singer. He has a cleft palate. So he would talk not like this and sing like this. So everybody loved him as a character in that way. And I got a lot of opportunities. Like we would do George Michael and Elton John, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. I would be George Michael and he would be Elton John. So I got a lot of opportunities in that sense too because of him, and it made me even more confident about myself as a singer.
Yes. You mentioned they used to call you King Kevin.
Yeah.
Right. I remember one time, and of course, no fault of yours. You was doing an interview, I guess, and the media personnel, you could elaborate, pretty much called you the king of soca at that particular time.
Yeah.
Right. And there were some conversations, I'm sure you heard about it, but that title that was kind of bestowed on you.
Yeah.
Did that cause any issues for you personally?
Not really personally. It just was a lot of unnecessary noise around that. I just think that when it comes to the Caribbean, every island has a member from some of the island.
Yes.
And, we got to be more unity driven and separatist kind of behavior because soca music is spread throughout all the islands. And what I did was represent soca on a level that nobody else had ever done it before. And still on to this day, if you look at the soca charts, especially in the summertime or coming to the summertime, Turn Me On is still number one. Even right now, this week, I saw charts where I'm number one in Canada, number one in the US, number one in England for soca music. And then I'm number 22 on the world chart. The song is still one of the biggest songs in the world. And that is not me just talking out my ass trying to say, it's been that way for since 2001.
Yeah,
has been a very unique contribution to the world of music. And, I have been very humble about it. I'm not really interested in haggling with anybody about who is king and who is not.
Yeah.
Because that can be very subjective as to who is currently relevant. And I somewhat believe that buying into that type of rhetoric and approach is also kind of putting us in a position where we set ourselves up for bad outcomes in the long run, especially for artists, because when you're new, you're the hardest thing. But then when your stuff gets old and you don't have nothing new anymore and your audience has moved on, you still want to have that respect. But when you get caught up in all this who is better than who and all this kind of hoopla, you end up either getting pushed aside or pulled into some level of negative energy that some sort of smear on your character or on your talent. It kind of overshadows what you came here for, which is to display your talent and make a living with it. You know, so I somewhat stay away from that and not really buy into it, because I feel like there's a lot more positive things we can do with each other as artists, and instead of trying to say that I'm better than you or you're better than me, because it's a mission, you know, it's not a competition, it's a mission, and we all got our blessings in this, you know?
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. You know, definitely wanted to give you an opportunity to talk on that. All right, so 2001 is when Turn Me On officially was created or written or produced?
Yes and no. It was officially recorded in 2001. Officially, it was written like November or December of 2000.
Okay. All right. So it was written then, and the production was done in 2001.
Yep. Like started January, February, those times.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the production, because at that time, first of all, I always have this, instead of putting even a debate, but I was, in my opinion, and actually today was the first time I actually Googled. I always say, listen, Turn Me On, I'm blessed to travel, you know, to many places, or, you know, around the world or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a DJ as well. So I've been to a lot of, I'm telling you, man, Turn Me On have to be the most popular soca song in the world, right? So, of course, you know, me being Trini, there's some people are like, nah, whatever. So I actually Googled what's the most popular song in the world, and of course, Turn Me On came up, and, you know, with record sales and all the different things. And then I was curious, and I said, you know what was the popular songs in 2003 when the song was a hit? I want to look at the names of the songs. I was like, wow, that was a hot year, because that Turn Me On came out the same time with Tempted to Touch, same time as Soca Bangarang by Bunji, Our Home by Iowa, what actually won Soca Mana that year, and then and Ghetto Flex, you know, Wine and Bend Over. So there's some big tunes around that same time. But let me.
Yeah, but I was already the problem with that, not to cut you off, is that Turn Me On came out in 2001, and the artist that you're comparing it to at that time in 2003, by that time we were with BT, we were with Atlantic Records, the song was signed, and we were being pushed international, not regional in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So at that time, we were on a whole nother level. If you wanted to research a year when it came out, it would be 2001.
Yeah.
When, boy, what was the songs that was out in those times?
2001. Man, I've had a because I can't.
That's when you got to research the region, you know.
What I
you know, they had I like to feel your body when it close to mine.
That's
Militant.
Militant. Yeah, that's a big tune. Yeah, that's a big tune.
Yeah, Onika Bostic.
Oh my goodness.
I would have had like Hana na 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 na. Let me see your Hana na na and Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad jump up.
Nia George.
Yeah, all them tunes.
All right. So these are the big songs in 2001. Rupee again, jump, and
yeah.
Right. And Bunji Fete. What's that again? Fete after Fete.
Yeah.
They got Traffic Bonks Me, Accident. Actually,
that year, you know, Bunji had so much hits, man. 2001, Bunji was lacing Trinidad with hits. I was like, when is his hits gonna stop? Bunji just keep dropping song after song, and the radio was just eating up Bunji, man.
Yeah,
this was the first time in Trinidad, and it's like ridiculous. It was like, I swear Bunji had about 10 songs running.
Yeah, man.
Much of the radio, yo. Yeah, man.
True. All right, so I want to get back to the production before I lose my chain of thought. So the production for Turn Me On is a mixture of what exactly? Soca seems like it has some fusion of, I guess, might be pop, and I understand it's interpolation of 112.
112. All My Love.
All My Love, yeah.
Yeah, if you listen to the song All My Love, you would never recognize it as Turn Me On, because of it being soca, because I transposed the melody to soca and I rewrote the lyrics and took the melody in a different dimension.
Yeah.
The key and everything is totally different. You know, the delivery of the verses, there's a lot of changes in the melody and everything. But, you know, that's where it started because I really love that song. Slim, who's the lead vocalist of that song, is a really cool brother. I met him quite a few times. We've done tours together. I've done tours together with him and 12. Okay. You know, they're really awesome guys, very professional, very talented. And, you know, it was really awesome meeting one of my idols. You know, his voice is incredible because he was the lead vocal on that, My Love. Yeah. So, you know, a real big moment for me to meet him, meet Duran, meet Mike as well from 112, who's a really humble cat like me and Mike and Duran and what's the other cat's name? Hugh, you know, we were on flights together and Mike was giving me advice and things like that, you know. So these guys, you know, I really like them. They're really cool. And it was really a blessing that they allowed for the opportunity along with Bad Boy and Puffy and them, because that's their music, you know, it's from their company. They allowed for the interpolation to go through and we gave them their agreed percentage and they allowed me to own most of it. Good. Which was really awesome because I wrote the song and stuff, so I own most of Turn Me On. You know, in life, you don't know what your big break is going to be, and this was really a shock for me at the time. Yeah. You know, I was just really grinding, but that interpolation has taken me, you know, to dimensions, man.
You know what? For someone that's listening, can you elaborate the difference between, because most people probably never heard that word before, the difference between an interpolation and a sample?
Yeah. Well, a sample is where you take a piece of either vocal or music from a song and, you know, you put it in there like that Kanye song. Yeah. I think that's a sample, right? Yeah. From a different song. He sped it up or whatever. But what I did, I rewrote the song and sang a whole new record.
Okay.
It's all me. There's no sample of the 112 record in there. It's just me singing and altering the melody and changing the lyrics and everything, made it a whole different record.
Right.
With aspects of their music, of course.
So the beat, how the whole beat came together?
Well, with the melody I brought to the studio, big up the producer, Adrian Bailey. The melody I brought was what the music was built off of. Me and him sat down and literally was like, I told him, listen, I want, and you got to big up Adrian Bailey because he's an extraordinary musician. Extremely extraordinary, especially on the keys. His airs is impeccable. Yeah. He interpreted exactly where I was going with it. I told him I wanted that zouk feel from a soca song I heard Donna Bascom and Stonewash Daddy, who were two artists from Saint Vincent do years ago at the time. Yeah. And that dancehall feel similar to that old Panani rhythm from Little Lenny and them with that tum tum ku tum tum. You know, because you know there's the one from Shaba where you have the deeper bass line. But then there's the fragile body for fragile Panani and tight like a virgin with the panty tum tum ku tum tum ku tum. Which is a whole different song, and that's how we came up with tum 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 tum.
That's it. As you know, man, you could play that song anywhere. It never gets old. That's one song, and it's a safe song too. You can play in any type of environment, and you're bound to get a vibe. You know?
Yeah. It's crazy, right? It's so crazy because at the time when I was making the record, I was just like, I want to do something that keeps the identity of soca, but takes soca to a place where it's never been before. And my voice, because I sing with that R&B tinge as well, where I do all that little, all of that stuff is like what gave it that R&B kind of feel. And then my timbre, my high pitched, more poppy, the melodies, the way that I use them, then the soca itself is very poppy. Soca in itself is very pop driven, because back in the day we would take soca and mix it with dance music.
Yeah.
There would be cassettes with you would be hearing what was that song from that cat? His name is Hathaway, I think.
Yeah, I actually interviewed Hardaway on the podcast. Yeah. What is love, baby? Stuff.
What is love? You know, and you hear that, and then they'll be mixing in both records, coming in on a fast soca beat. You know, it's really very akin to each other. They're very, very close to each other. They're brother and sister.
Yeah. You know, back to the interpolation, and you mentioned dancehall. This came to mind. So Chris Brown also did an interpolation of your song as well.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a story. What I was doing some research, and I remember seeing a story with you and Elephant Man was in a conversation, and you was you know, and I was dying laughing. Like, man, you're pretty good at it, man. You're pretty.
This is this. Yo, Kevin, Chris Brown, you know, Chris Brown, sing over your song. One of the most unique songs in dancehall music. His sound, his voice, his tone is extremely unique. You know, nobody has songs like him. And I've been a fan of Elephant Man since I was a kid. Like, Elephant has been around with Monster Shock forever.
Yeah.
That you know, so hanging out with him and having him. Yo, we were literally sitting down on the ground in the hallway of the corridor of our hotel rooms. Like, we were just sitting, we came out the elevator vibing, and we sit down by the room door. I sit down as we talking and thing, and you know, I telling him about the thing, and we just vibing and talking, you know. So he's a really cool cat, man. Big up Elephant Man.
Yeah, big up Elephant Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When did you realize that song pretty much, as we see in the Caribbean, like go on clear, like your bus, like wow?
All over the English and Dutch and French and Spanish speaking Caribbean. I was everywhere. Okay. And then after Jamaica Carnival that year, 2002, I think February, somewhere there, and at that time Jamaica Carnival was very young. Everybody was saying it's the youngest carnival in the Caribbean, you know, so it wasn't as big yet. But once Jamaica takes the record, Trinidad takes it, you're on the move, you're big. Came out of Trinidad #1, but when Jamaica took it, and like flew with it, now I'm playing on all the mainstream radios. Because you got people like Bobby Condas and Jabba, you always got to big up them, man, because they've been pioneering the Caribbean music to mainstream music forever. People like David Levy, and a whole host of Caribbean DJs across America. You know, YGT. What's his name? Tanto Irie, who I just did an interview with, because me and Charlie Black got a new record this month. You know, so these guys, the Jamaican dancehall DJs, because dancehall reggae is still very accepted on mainstream radio. Yeah, they gave us a little bly with the soca with them, so you know you find and you got big up man like my brother there. Oh my God.
Where?
Why don't names just leave you when you do need to call them, and then suddenly you're in a conversation and it pops into your head?
Yeah, where are you based?
New York.
D-Life.
My brother D-Life.
Okay, D-Life.
Soca DJ D-Life from Trinidad. That brother was fighting for soca on mainstream radio on Hot 97 with Bobby Condas and Jabba. Yeah. And he had to put up a fight because, you know, they only give him like a little 15-20 minute segment inside the reggae segment that they have.
Yeah.
And back in them days, dancehall and soca didn't mix. You know, the dancehall man and them was saying the soca man and them gay. And you understand? Man in costume, partying in the street, and they didn't like that. So there was a divide, a big divide at the time. True. So the little blight he was really going through it, getting the opportunity with Bobby Condas and Jabba to push the soca music. They have big up the life with that. And, you know, there was quite a few other soca DJs who got a little chance here and there to sneak the soca in and give away a little 15 minutes on mainstream radio, you know. But big up the reggae dancehall DJ them, because they were the ones who really helped to make the next leap over for the song, putting it on the charts in mainstream America, Canada was a big boon for me as well because Canada didn't segregate. Canada radio, once you get this thing called CanCon, so big up Alison Hines because Alison Hines and Ian.
Okay.
And with Island, I forgot the name of these companies now. But was it Pantin? Ian Pantin, I think his name is.
Is that?
It's not Pantin. Oh my gosh, it's another Ian.
Okay.
I'm thinking of, but he was the one that did that record with me and Trini Jacobs, Sexy Ways. He was the producer of that record. He did the remix for Turn Me On. Because he was a Canadian citizen, we got CanCon. So the one with me and Alison Hines became the big record in Toronto. Although the original was playing, we couldn't get the amount of play that one that had a Canadian citizen attached to it would get. Because in Canada with CanCon, you could only play a certain amount of outside content.
Okay,
right?
okay. That's what you're saying.
So Turn Me On was playing, but they couldn't go hard on it.
Yeah.
So now we added the Alison Hines version. Now everything fell in place in Canada. And I was already, even before that version, doing mainstream radio shows in Canada. So big up Toronto, big up the whole of Canada, because they really helped to push us over the edge as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You mentioned something. So I'm trying to figure out something, right? So when the song first came out, because from my understanding, and obviously I could be wrong, Spranger Benz was not on the original. Was that a remake, or he was part of the original song?
No, he was not a part of the original, but Spranger had a very big part that he played with his version. I actually just saw Spranger yesterday, was hanging out with him and my manager, Alison Hunt, yesterday. Spranger, when I first met Spranger, man, I was so scared because, Spranger is huge, man.
Yeah.
As a youth growing up and hearing Spranger and Buju and the cassette them in Song Clash and thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really surreal meeting him in person, and it was incredible for me, and having him jump on the remix because we needed that urban version of the record to get Hot 97 to push us to #1 in New York. And when that version happened is when we got the Hot 97 urban #1 record, and the other big urban stations that played the hardcore hip hop gave us the #1. But other than that, we were top pop with the version with Mad Zat.
Right.
The original.
Man, so much history. All right, so Atlantic Records. I know you had some challenges with Atlantic Records. So when you got to Atlantic Record was 2002, 2003?
Started in 2003. We signed with Atlantic in 2003. We did the album in 2003 as well. I did a huge UK release with East West Records at the time, which was their arm in
the
London.
UK.
Yeah. We sold 1 million records the first week of release, and then after that we did the release in America where the album sold gold and the single sold 1 million again.
Yeah.
And I think the album finally went platinum as well. So, I think by now we actually pushing like 6 million in sales or more than that. I've never really checked where our sales are right now, but I'm pretty sure it's way up there now.
For sure. Wow. All right.
But there's no, with Atlantic, just to answer your question with Atlantic Records, it was really good. I got to big up Craig Coleman.
Yeah.
Craig Coleman historically really cared and cares about the sound of Caribbean music.
Yes.
Him and Salam Remy. Salam Remy was the executive producer of my album. There was a certain level of that was given and passed to me when working with him and seeing his interest in seeing Caribbean music go through his history with Caribbean music was the reason why I signed with Atlantic. In the long run, it didn't work out as well. I had my shortcomings as an artist because, I came from a little island. I didn't have, quote unquote, as much experience as somebody like a Sean Paul who has been around longer than me. To have the type of people fighting for me inside the label that Sean did. He had the real experience with having people fighting for him and protecting his interests at the record label. I didn't have that. So my deal didn't work for the length of time that his did. I finally left Atlantic. We parted ways. They paid me out what they owed me for the albums from before as well. that they wanted me to do. So, I came out substantially well compensated from Atlantic Records, and I did some other deals after that. But the music industry was ever changing as well.
Yes.
And what I did was so pivotal that I kind of had this staying power which turned me on that was very unexplainable. The record just kept being in the charts and being played, and I just, I just went with the tide, for want of a better way to describe it. I just went with the tide and kept relevant and just kept performing, but everything happened for a reason. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
What's some of the other artists that were signed to Atlantic at that time? It was yourself, Sean Paul, and was it?
Yeah, they did sign. I think they did sign Rupee as well.
Okay.
For sure. Trying to remember, Nina Sky, I think was on there with me. All Universal, I think they were. But those were the artists I knew with Caribbean sound that out around the time. Nina Sky, myself, Sean. Did Shaggy have anything at that time? I can't remember.
Yeah, I know you have a collab with Shaggy as well, but that was independent, or?
Yeah, that was independent. Feel so good to be loved. Yeah. That was done by the cats who did Party Like a Rock Star.
Okay. Nice. So, collabs, man. You've done I won't say a bunch, but you have had some big names as far as collabs. I mean, we mentioned Shaggy, Maya, Flo Rida, Marie, Hines, Trey Songz. You work with Trey Songz as well?
Yeah, Trey was on my first album. He was on the development when my first album was being done. Him and the writer of Sweet Lady by Tyrese, a gentleman by the name of Troy Taylor. Troy was the one who developed him and was really his guy when it came to developing his vocal talent and writing skills and all this kind of stuff, at least from what I saw. And they've been close ever since. So I worked with both of them on that first album, along with Ryan Toby from City High. I don't know if you know Ryan Toby.
No, I can't say.
Yeah, that's the cat from Sister Act.
Okay, yeah.
The kid with the locks who was singing Happy Day.
Okay.
Ryan Toby, yeah, man.
I never knew.
Great singer. I learned a lot from those guys, though, those R&B cats, because their way of doing music and honing their craft was something new to me, because I never had that, So I learned a lot from them. And as well, there was one of the greatest vocal teachers I've ever come across, Craig Derry.
Okay.
Was who was working with me as well. So yeah, I had a whole host of people. I have a song that Trey Songz wrote for me where he did all the back vocals. That's on the album called Your Kiss. And we actually did a song together that never got released. Yeah.
Wow, crazy. All right. So you've been all over the world. What's one place that I'm sure when you get there, you have to explain. I won't say explain, but I'm pretty sure, people ask you, what is soca? Right? So you've been all over the world. What's the one place you've been to and it was like, wow, I can't believe I'm here?
Quite a few, man. I mean, a lot of the times I actually I like to just take a moment and just be thankful every time I get off of a plane and I land somewhere else and I arrive safe, because from where I came from as a poor youth, simple, humble beginnings, to be where I am, I've always felt like, you just never know. In another dimension, I could have been gone already, I might have made a mistake and not be here, So, there's places like, I don't know. Man, it's just everywhere for me, just to be able to do what I do, be in Japan, be in Australia, be in the Seychelles Islands and Germany, and then all the way up to Norway, and then back down to South America somewhere. It's crazy. I've performed in so many different places in this world,
right?
In places that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. All right. What's your take on AI in music? Obviously, back then when you created, this mega hit, AI wasn't around. Like now. What's your take on AI? Because now you could just type up something and boom, a whole song in less than a minute,
Yeah, I know. The thing about that is that the organic feel, the emotion, there's certain emotion that a real human being exudes spiritually into a piece of music.
Yes.
And I think that is something that we're still struggling to understand. And AI can only copy it. It cannot actually create it the way that a real human does.
Yeah.
You know, it can learn from us and copy our stylings and our intentions in terms of the way that we do certain things and put it towards certain words and use certain textures and tones from different people. But that actual human feel when you get in front of a mic, sometimes a mistake from a human being makes a song a hit.
Yeah,
AI
true.
doesn't make mistakes, you know, and mistakes are something that we underestimate.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't tell you how much of my songs have mistakes or vocal inconsistencies that just make the song have a certain level of emotion that you can't replicate.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, but I'm not against AI.
Yeah.
Because that would be like being against social media even. I think a lot of people have regretted being against social media now.
Yeah.
Because you see what social media has done. It has actually leveled the playing field for the music industry where people don't even need to deal with labels.
Yeah.
You know, investors are right there all the time. You do a good piece of music, it doesn't have to be a label that invests in it.
Yeah.
You even get your fans to invest in it now. And I think AI is going to present certain levels of opportunities to the world and the music industry in general that didn't exist before either. So, you know, it's left to be seen, but a lot is happening fast.
Yeah.
I think that our world is designed so much so that as we open doors, some doors open other doors a lot faster.
Yes, yes.
That's the thing about technology.
True,
you know,
true.
Technology, and you know, we underestimate the fact that we ourselves are not far from being mechanical, because if you remove the iron from the human body, we're going to drop down and die.
Yeah.
We can't survive without iron. The difference between us and a robot is really the iron is on the outside.
Yep.
But for us, the iron is on the inside, right? We need iron for oxygen. If we breathe and there's no iron in our body, we can't oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So I got two more before we wrap it up. What's your top 5 artists? Could be any genre.
My top 5 artists.
Top 5.
Artists. Wow.
The musicians.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, number 1 for sure is Michael Jackson.
I can see that.
Number 2 is definitely Stevie Wonder.
Okay. Singers. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a singer, you know, I admire people who can really hone their craft and make something of themselves as a singer without having to change their character.
Yes.
You know, Michael Jackson was just Michael Jackson, and he won by just being the person that he was. Similarly, Stevie Wonder, his inability created by blindness is what made him what they call him, the 9 wonders of the world, because he could play so much different instruments.
Right, and I can't even see.
Yeah, man. Number 3, man. Who would be number 3? Number 3.
I'm thinking maybe like an Al Green or something.
Vocalist. If I'm sticking with vocalists, I think number 3 would be Whitney Houston.
Okay, for sure.
I don't think that there has been a singer in the last 100 years that have achieved vocally and in the level of artistry that Whitney Houston achieved. It's a pity the way that she went out. And, you know, she had her downfalls and her issues in the end. But her body of work, her vocal capabilities, unto this day, there's people, she set a bar for female vocals and vocals in general that people, unto this day, they used to measure your talent as a singer. Then number 4, I'm
surprised you said Patti LaBelle. You know,
I think Patti LaBelle is great, but you know, there's people like Ella Fitzgerald, and oh my gosh, I forgot her name now. This lady from back in the day, really back in the 30s somewhere there. That was really awesome. She had perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Incredible singer. I forgot her name now. But, you got to put Patty and Anita right there next to each other. You know,
true.
As female, I want to bring in a male vocalist now. And right there for number 4 for me, I would say is
Brian Williams?
Brian McKnight.
Oh, Brian McKnight. Okay, Brian McKnight. Okay.
Brian McKnight is one of the most incredible male vocalists of our time.
Yeah.
His vocal incredible. McKnight is crazy. It's crazy. This dude be singing high and you don't realize he's singing high.
No effort.
You know? And then right after him, I want to go with somebody who is in this generation now, not because they are just for sake, but because they just have an incredible hold on their generation. I would think Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Somebody who is really incredible, not just as a vocalist. Because for me, when I say as a vocalist too, it doesn't mean that they have the most incredible voice, but they have a sound. She has a song. But when you hear Taylor Swift, it's Taylor Swift.
Yeah, unique song.
She has a style and a song that mesh together. When you hear it, hey, that's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Fair enough. All right. So I want to talk about entrepreneurship. Obviously, you got into that space. Is it Vonzu? What exactly is that particular business venture that you were part of?
Yeah, Vonzu is from two. Von is from Zoo is two in German.
Okay.
Right. So we are the company is a logistics company. We have a delivery app that does food delivery and rides, and we also do pay. We're getting into rentals because it's a Caribbean-based operation. So we're getting into tours, rentals, all that kind of stuff in the Caribbean.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's just based right now in Saint Vincent? At
the moment, we actually started with Barbados and a few other islands as well. We just haven't gotten to the point where we've launched yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, great. All right, so this part of the podcast is called 2,000 Questions About Me. I'm not going to ask you 2,000 questions, obviously, but it's based on a book that I brought a couple of years ago. So I'm going to ask you, pick a number from 1 to 2,000, and the number that you pick will be the question that's asked out of the book.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm going to pick the number 3.
Yes?
The triangle. That's the perfect number.
1156 and all kind of craziness. All right, number 3. Let me see what you got. That's really simple. What is the trait you most deplore in yourself? What's the trait you most deplore in yourself? Pretty much a trait about yourself that you don't like.
I think I have a love-hate relationship with my humility.
Okay, fair enough.
I hate it as much as I like it.
Yeah.
Because at times it works against me.
Yeah.
But then in the long run, I end up playing the long game and I still end up coming out on top because of my humility. It's just frustrating. Sometimes you just want to be mean or be beat your chest.
Yeah.
But it's just not me, that's just not my personality. Yeah.
You saying that, I'm hearing Elephant Man in the background say, Kevin, boy, hey, boy, it's Chris Brown. Well, boss, man, I ain't gonna hold up too long, man. Really appreciate taking time out your busy schedule, and congratulations and all the success, man. And
thank you, man.
And all the best moving forward. And man, keep doing your thing, Yeah,
really, man, much appreciate. And check out my new song with me and Charlie Black. Tonight I want party with an island thing, sweet sexy island thing, big bottom island thing. Whoa, bring your back for me now, hey, push up your bumper. Yeah, man, check it out.
That's song like a banger, man. It's already released. It's out. It's out right now.
It's releasing in the next week or 2. We already set the business up, so it's time for us to hit the streaming platforms now and mash up the place, man. We've been teasing it, been giving it to all the radios and stuff, so you may have heard it somewhere, but you can't play it nowhere yet because it's not even on YouTube. But you will hear the big release. All right?
It sounds like a summer banger there, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, I look forward to it, man.
You don't know.
Yes, I. Ladies and
Bless
gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Lyttle.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the AlonzoBash Podcast. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, leave a comment and let us know your favorite episode so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help the podcast grow. You can catch the AlonzoBash Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on Amazon Alexa devices. Just ask Alexa to play the AlonzoBash Podcast. Until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and as Alonzo would say, stay focused on your goals and dreams. See you on the next episode.